Okay, let's just dive right into this because it's an incredible story. We're talking about speed, we're talking about AI, and honestly, a revolution in how software gets made. This is about a company that went from a solo side project to an $80 million acquisition in like the time it takes most startups just to figure out their logo. You know the feeling, right? We all start here. That light bulb moment hits, you've got an idea for a tool, a game, some little app that you know would be a game changer. You can see it all perfectly in your head. And then reality sets in. For most of us, that's where the dream dies. The idea of learning complex programming languages, setting up servers, dealing with databases, it's this huge wall that has stopped millions of amazing ideas dead in their tracks. Well, until now. See, we're in the middle of this massive shift, and it's all being powered by a new trend called vibe coding. It sounds a little funny, but it is completely changing the game for who can build software and how it actually gets done. Just think about that for a second. Instead of writing endless lines of Python or JavaScript, you're basically just having a conversation. You're talking to an AI developer describing the vibe of what you want, and the AI translates that into a real, functional application. And one of the breakout stars of this whole revolution, a tool called Base44. So how does it do it? How does it turn a simple chat into a full-blown app? It really does feel like magic, but there's a pretty clear process behind it all. Let's break it down. It really boils down to this super simple three-step process. First, you just prompt the AI. You tell it your idea in plain English. Then the AI generates the whole thing. We're talking the front end, the back end, everything. And finally, you refine it. You can either keep talking to the AI or use a simple visual editor to make little tweaks until it's absolutely perfect. Now, here's what really sets Base44 apart. It's their core philosophy, something they call batteries included. See, other tools might build you a nice-looking website, but Base44 automatically handles all the really complicated, messy stuff on the back end. Databases, user signups, analytics. You don't have to worry about stitching together a dozen different services. It just works. The tech itself is seriously impressive, yeah? But the story behind how it all came to be is even crazier. This wasn't some slow 10-year grind. This was a rocket ship. Just look at this timeline. It is absolutely insane. It starts in October 2024 as a side project built by one guy traveling the world. By January, it's a real company. By March, it's already profitable. And by June, with a tiny team of only 6 people, it gets acquired. We're talking just over 6 months from a spark of an idea to a massive exit. And the user growth? Well, that was just as explosive. In that incredibly short window, Base44 pulled in a staggering 300,000 users. So how does a totally self-funded company with zero marketing budget even do that? Well, the secret sauce was a strategy called Build in Public. The founder, Meyer Shlomo, shared the entire journey on social media. The wins, the struggles, the real user numbers. This raw honesty was so refreshing that it built this incredibly passionate community who felt like they were part of the story. It created a viral wave of adoption without a single dollar being spent on ads. Of course, when you make that much noise organically, someone big is going to notice. And it caught the eye of a major player in the web development world, leading to this blockbuster climax for a 6-month-old company. Yep. In June of 2025, the website building giant Wix swooped in and acquired this tiny, self-funded startup for $80 million in cash. This move instantly threw Base44 right into the center of the AI coding gold rush. With Wix's resources behind it, Base44 started adding a mind-blowing $12 million in new annual recurring revenue. That's predictable subscription income every single month. That's the kind of growth that puts you in the same league as competitors that are valued in the billions. And here's the thing. Wix wasn't just buying some cool tech. They were buying a supercharger for their entire platform. Their unfair advantage was being able to plug Base44 directly into their massive user base of over 300 million people. That's how you ignite growth. It is a fantastic, almost unbelievable story. But, okay, let's take a breath. We need a bit of a reality check here. How far can this whole vibe coding thing really go? Is it actually ready to build anything and everything we can imagine? You know, like with any new hot technology, there's a pretty big gap between the hype and the reality. Academic studies have actually found that, people are often left kind of disappointed with the code these tools create. Users frequently report that the AI just struggles to deliver the functionality they actually asked for.
And when researchers actually dig into the code itself, they find the same kinds of problems over and over. The AI might spit out code that's buggy, incomplete, or a total nightmare to maintain later on. Sometimes it just flat out ignores what the user wanted, which is, incredibly frustrating. But maybe the most powerful, most honest reality check comes from the founder of Base44 himself. In an interview, Manor Shlomo straight up admitted that his own company's complex backend was too sophisticated to be built with the very tool he created. He said for the really complex stuff, you still need to be able to look at and understand the code.
So all this leaves us with a really fascinating question, right? This technology isn't necessarily going to replace developers, but it might be fundamentally changing what their job is. Maybe the developer of the future spends way less time writing every single line of code and way more time being the high-level architect who designs the system and then expertly directs an army of AI assistants to go and build it. What do you think?